Gelhardt's deal to Hull City is done, and there is plenty more transfer news and action around Hull City, including a possible bid rejection of Plymouth Argyle's Morgan Whittaker. Hello there, welcome back to the HullCityFanCentral YouTube channel, where today, day after the devastating loss to Doncaster at home in penalties, but we'll gloss over that as we look forward to the future now with Hull City. So, we'll start off with the big one for today, and that being Joe Gelhardt's deal to Hull City is reportedly done, and the deal is expected to be announced soon. Of course, this loan deal, which we did announce in last week, that was on the cards, well, it seems to be all finalised and ready to go. Joe Gelhardt has had his medical down in London yesterday. Of course, couldn't take it at the MKM Stadium, as there was a game on, but he did take his medical down in London yesterday, and apparently everything is ready to go for him to join on a loan deal for the remainder of this season. Certainly going to be a good one. A little small nugget of things that I was thinking about when this sort of was breaking out this morning. Surely we have to get rid of a loan player to bring in a fresh loan player. We have the maximum, pardon me, maximum amount of loan players at the club at the moment. So surely we have to get rid of one before this. Whether that be the Chris Bedia that is pretty much certain to go at this point, hasn't been featured in any sort of aspect in the past couple of weeks. That'll probably be my pick for, we'll probably get an announcement from him saying he's leaving out on loan. Or it could be one of the other loan players. Of course, we have Oscar Zambrano, who isn't being utilised at Hull City at all due to his current ban. So maybe that deal could be terminated and then maybe rekindle that one in the summer once everything has sort of finished around his ban from playing football. But we'll wait and see. So I predict that we will be having a busy week for Hull City heading forward into the Millwall game. Apparently Joe Gelhardt is somewhat in contention to play in the Millwall game. So this deal must be getting announced some point this week. And off the back of it, we must have an announcement of a lone player leaving us. Whether it be Bedia, whether it be Zambrano, whether it be somebody else. We will wait and see. So as I'll keep you updated on here. Hull City, this one came out of nowhere this morning, I will be frank with you. Hull City have had a bid rejected for Morgan Whittaker. Of course, that would be the Plymouth Argyle attacker, Morgan Whittaker, who scored in the FA Cup against Brentford to send Plymouth through to the fourth round. Burnley are also have had a bid rejected for Morgan Whittaker. Apparently, they were in contention to sign him back in the summer. Didn't get anything through and then have rekindled it and retrying now in the January. Of course, if Morgan Whittaker was to leave Plymouth, which I highly doubt it, as he is their man, if Plymouth lose Morgan Whittaker, then they'll have to have a big feat on their hands to replace him and his production in the squad. So if he was to leave, which is a very small chance, but if he was to leave, I presume that he himself probably would be wanting to go to Burnley, but it depends whether he would get the game time up in Burnley or whether he decides to come to Hull and help us out. But that being a very interesting nugget of information. So this one I kind of glossed over in the prediction and preview video ahead of the FA Cup game on Saturday. Well, I'll give you it now. Hull City have expressed interest in Fenerbahce attacking midfielder Lincoln Henrique. The 26-year-old Brazilian has just been out on loan at Red Bull Bragantino, I struggled to say this before, where he contributed with 5 goals in 49 games. It is expected this transfer will be a loan deal, so another loan deal on the cards. Does question the fact maybe could be some more loan deals terminated. Could a Finley Burns be terminated or somebody like that? Of course, we did see Finley Burns play yesterday, only 45 minutes as he seemed to come off worse from that head injury that he picked up in the first half, but we will keep you updated on that. Another one that I mentioned in the preview video, Henry Sander, of course, the former under-21s player, has left Hull City on a permanent and had his loan deal at Wealdstone terminated because he's going to join, or he has joined Sutton United on a permanent deal. The 19-year-old, of course, hasn't featured any times for the senior squad, but only a handful of times for the under-21s. So some very, very interesting news around Hull City at the moment, to say the least. A little bit of loan information, and that being that Callum Jones, of course, one of Hull City's academy players at the moment, is currently out on loan at Morecambe, and I just thought it was a fun bit of information. He played against Chelsea in the FA Cup. Of course, they did lose 5-0, but he was part of the starting lineup to face Chelsea at Stamford Bridge in the FA Cup, which I thought was quite a nice bit of information. Hull City are reportedly in links to sign Kilmarnock striker Bobby Wales. Very interesting one coming out this morning. That Hull City are in contention to sign this striker. Seems like it would be a perfect fit for City. He's got the pace. He's got the sort of, I want to say, the Aaron Connolly-esque striker. Of course, hopefully he doesn't come with the injuries of an Aaron Connolly. But definitely seems that sort of style of striker from what I've seen, and it's going to be a very interesting one if it does come off for City. I must say, certainly to have an influx of strikers where we possibly could see Bedia leaving. I'd definitely say our striking situation would be in a very good place moving forwards. Of course, not Dan James, Joe Gelhardt, the other Leeds player. Joe Gelhardt, of course, would be on a loan deal, but Bobby Wales and obviously João Pedro already have. They both possibly would be staying longer than just this season. So our striking situation is seeming like it's in a very, very good place. I will quickly gloss back onto the game yesterday and a bit of a positive news about Gustavo Puerta. Of course, Gustavo Puerta has been absolutely fantastic under Ruben Sayers, and there is the possibility that Hull City are looking to trigger his obligation to buy in the region of about €4 million or £4 million. But it got his first goal for Hull City yesterday, which, I mean, came at a brilliant time in the game. Of course, in the long scheme of things, didn't come too good. But Gustavo Puerta, first goal for City, and of course, if he plays, I believe, 16 more fixtures, and 12 of them he starts, I believe that's the runnings of from what I can remember. That if he manages that in the remaining stretch of the season, then he will be handed the obligation to buy from his parent club to City, where we will definitely take that €4 million for him. And I believe then the contract would have a 24 million buyout option. So whatever happens, Hull City are winning with Gustavo Puerta's deal. Certainly seems like it's a very, very good one for us. A final bit of information, I guess. It's more of a roundup on all of Hull City's targets, just because it's been a bit chaotic this past week. Of course, we had the FA Cup match, and as we look forward to Millwall away this Saturday, I just thought we'd go through and see all of the players that Hull City are in contentions to sign, or possibly deals very close to be done. If you can't tell, I'm a little bit ill. Apologies. Joe Gelhardt, of course, as we mentioned. Morgan Whittaker, of course, as we have mentioned. Matt Crooks is done. He's a Hull City player. Could possibly play against Millwall. Wasn't in available contentions to play yesterday, as he's just been back in America, finalising some of his stuff to get back into the UK, of course, being out in America for a little bit of time. As we said, Lincoln Enrique, Jan Zilewski from Liga Warsaw in Poland. Of course, we've talked about him already. The Louis Barry case seems like it may be slipping away from Hull City, but we are still in contention with that. We've not heard anything negative on that front, so will still remain some hope on the Aston Villa youngster. Ali Kabakalman, of course, we've talked about that in the past week. Of course, if you do want to hear a bit more in depth about this, go and check out some of the news videos from last week. Tom Cannon, of course, that one, it's a little bit of an interesting case as well. Of course, he's out on loan at the moment, but unless we're looking to recall him, maybe to get a bit of a better fee for him. And then there is also Ryan Porteous. I had a bit more stronger links in the past week about this Watford defender. As I did say in a follow-up video last week, that this deal may be a little bit... it may not have too much strength within it, but it seems like since I reported it, it's gained a bit more strength from a few more credible sources. So that's been all nice and dandy. Of course, we haven't had anything really since the start of last week on Willy Bolly, or Willy Boley. That seems to have slipped under the radar. Whether something does appear out of nowhere on that front, we will wait and see. But that is your bit of a roundup on where Hull City stand as players coming in. Of course, I will keep you today on everything Hull City about these transfers, plenty more transfers for Hull City, and everything else around this magnificent club. So make sure you keep liking and subscribing to the YouTube channel to stay up to date on all of that. Go and check me out over on Twitter or X to get a breaking minute by minute on Hull City. And also a bit active over on the TikTok. If you do fancy going and check me out over there, HullCityFanCentral on there. So I will see you in the next video, where possibly we could have a Joe Gelhardt signing or possibly a loan departing. So I'll see you over there. Up the Tigers.